Welcome to the Nintendo Power Zone, and this is Wild Odyssey. In 2017, Nintendo released two games that both have a rightful claim for the Game of the Year award. Both games have been critically and commercially successful and have sparked a debate. Which game is better? Our goal here with Wild Odyssey is to break the games down into multiple categories and place them head to head against one another to determine once and for all which game deserves the title of Game of the Year.
Hey NPC fans, this is Jaden Winsong bringing you episode 2 of the Wild Odyssey series. In this series, we take two of the best Nintendo games of the year, and really two of the best games of the year, Mario Odyssey and Zelda Breath of the Wild, and we compare and contrast, and we try and decide what, in our opinion, is the best game of the year. In my episode, I'm going to be talking about the soundtrack, the musical score, and the sound effects, and I'm going to try and figure out, in my opinion, which one is the clear winner. When it comes to gaming music, these two franchises are widely regarded as having the most influential and recognizable tunes from the very beginning of these series. From Super Mario World's 1-1 tune to the original Legend of Zelda overworld theme, these two games set a high bar for every single game that followed. Not only games within their own franchises, but games outside. Just a little fun fact, Koji Kondo is the man responsible behind these iconic series tunes. The Mario series has a long-standing history of coming right out the door swinging with some of the best tunes that gaming has to offer. For example, Mario 64 started with Peach's Castle, and Bob-omb Battlefield, and Mario Sunshine had Delfino Plaza. Mario Odyssey is no exception to this trend. In fact, I would go as far as to say that it has raised the bar once more. First, let's talk about pre-launch. Before Odyssey even launched, the geniuses at Nintendo released the brilliant earworm of a song, Jump Up Superstar.
It's time to raise our sails. It's freedom like you never knew. Bags or a pass, say the word, I'll be there in a flash. You could say my hat is on you. Or we can zoom all the way to the moon from this great wide wacky world. Just me, grab toys with me, yeah. It's time to jump up in the air.
Then the game launches, and we're immediately wowed with an opening battle high above the clouds in Bowser's skyship, with an equally impressive musical score accompanying. Then you're whisked away quickly to the Tim Burton-esque Bonneton with an equally appropriate background song. The diversity of the soundtrack for Mario Odyssey is what truly makes the game stand out and shine. Not only does each location have a unique sound that differs from each other location, such as, for example, the jazzy tunes of New Donk City, but Mario Odyssey also has an overall different sound from the other Mario games. The score for Mario Odyssey feels more like it belongs to a AAA Hollywood film than it does a Nintendo game, which, in my opinion, is a very good thing. This seems like a logical progression of where game tunes should go, especially for an iconic series such as Mario. Music aside, one of the most impressive things that Odyssey does, as well as the Mario franchise as a whole, is that it faithfully manages to take classic sounds of older Mario titles and translate them to be compatible with newer upgraded hardware. For example, the classic growing sound that Mario has when he gets a mushroom, or the collecting coin sounds. When it comes to particularly good sounds that I found in Odyssey, I really enjoyed the background noises of New Donk City. The background really did a fantastic job of portraying the feeling that you're in a big city. On a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being the best, Mario Odyssey gets a 5 in my book. The music in The Legend of Zelda is one of Koji Kondo's other masterpieces, spawning a successful annual symphony of various different pieces that have been featured throughout the Zelda franchise. From Zelda's Lullaby, to the Song of Time, to the Ballad of the Goddess, Zelda titles have been known to be overflowing with tunes. In fact, as many of us are aware, musical instruments have been key components for many titles. Now, Breath of the Wild is a massive departure from this formula. Music is scarce, limited mostly to the main theme, cutscenes, villages, and boss fights. Generally speaking, the music is subtle and subdued, weaving itself seamlessly into the empty landscape that is apocalyptic Hyrule. Moving away from the soundtrack, the sound effects in Breath of the Wild managed to add an extra dimension of personality to the game, which is frankly something we've seen the franchise repeatedly do since the jump to 3D back in Ocarina of Time. Now, I know this might be a bit confusing, but let me explain a bit. Imagine, if you will, Ocarina of Time without Navi's trademark, Hey Listen, or even Majora's Mask without Tingle's Kulu Limpa. While both games would still be fantastic, they would arguably be diminished. There's something about adding the extra sound effects that really adds something to the dimension of these games. Breath of the Wild is no exception. From the hum of Guardian beam weapons, to the sound of the Sheikah Slate, to the yahaha of a found Korra, which is my personal favorite. It is in the tiniest details that we find Breath of the Wild's perfection. The big question is, do I like this change? Do I like this departure from the norm? If I'm being completely honest, Breath of the Wild has my least favorite musical score out of the entirety of the Zelda franchise. And yet, what is there is executed in such a brilliant, deliberate manner that it perfectly sets the tone of the entire game. It makes sense because Hyrule is apocalyptic. Every single aspect of the sound and the score is woven together to create such a fine tapestry that I'm willing to overlook the lack of a more overt score like we're used to in other games. But not all is lost. At least we get to hear some of the more iconic tunes return in the form of Cass. And who doesn't love an accordion-playing bird person? All in all, Breath of the Wild gets a solid 5 for execution, tone setting, and accordion-playing bird persons. In conclusion, both Breath of the Wild and Mario Odyssey are fantastic games. So fantastic, in fact, that I'm really incapable of choosing one over the other due to such wildly different approaches to their music and sound. Really, we're comparing apples and oranges here. So the final verdict in music and sound effects is we have a draw.
So that's going to conclude our second episode of Wild Odyssey. Remember, we will have a new episode out every week from now until the end of February. And if you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to hit the like button. And if you want to stay up to date with Wild Odyssey, don't forget to subscribe to the Nintendo Power Zone right here on YouTube. Thank you so much for watching.